In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Look no further than Alaska's #1 real estate team at alaskashometeam.com. Decades of local experience, knowledge, and expertise in the competitive real estate market. Alaska's Home Team makes buying or selling your home a breeze. Give them a call today at 907-277-3777.
Lady with the Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings, retreats, birthdays, bridal, and baby showers. Find Lady with the Plan on Instagram.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska. Built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation. Find their products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more at the Treehouse AK and other dispensaries around the state. Ask your local bud tender about AKO.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Boombastic.
I was on it.
Damn, that was way.
What's the first beer I've opened in months?
Yeah, fuck it. It feels like it.
It does. You can take a break for a minute.
Didn't you try to say that one time? I haven't had a beer in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and
I
it was
think
like 7 days.
I listened to the podcast again not too long ago. I was like, really?
I think it ended up being like earlier that week in the studio.
I had my last, yeah. I was like, oh, it was like 2 weeks ago. It's like, you mean like 2 days ago? I guess
Felt like a long time.
Yeah.
It's getting real
I'm
thirsty.
going full dry.
Welcome to Alaska Wild Project, episode 47. Man, we're flying through them.
Yeah,
It's
almost
going.
a year's worth, man.
Almost a year. It's going to be a year. I was looking at it. I want to say the first one came out March 7th. Was number one
And we
It feels that
probably
way.
recorded like 4 weeks earlier than that.
before it came out.
Because wasn't the goal like right the first week of February?
Yeah.
Originally, yep.
We had a couple practice, like a little couple practice deals.
We have a story that'll never be released, probably.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shit
You gotta pay Patreon. Pay Patreon.
Yeah, speaking about Patreon, man, hey, we really appreciate the people that have been supporting us through the Patreon. I know we got a lot of business sponsors and stuff like that, and obviously thank you to those guys and a bunch of new people that are coming on, and we'll get to that probably later. But The Patreon people that have just been consistently, giving us, $5, $20. I mean, there's a couple people that are doing $50, which is crazy. So that just really, we really, really appreciate that. And if you want to support even like $1, man, $1 a month and all that stuff, it's really helpful for us to continue to do these podcasts and pay the rent. And, none of this stuff is free. It takes a lot of our time away from our families and our full-time, careers and stuff like that to get out here and do something that we love.
Oh yeah.
So if there's someone out there that, there's a lot of listeners out there, and if you just want to like donate $1 or $5 a month, just go to the website or patreon.com/Alaska Wild Project, and we'll get the email saying you signed up. And we got a couple stories out there, and we got a couple more. We have we're going to put out the Sheep Companion. I don't know if there are Joe Rogan fans out there.
Yeah, explain that companion model. Like what? I'm a podcaster, but I haven't been able to listen to podcasts at the level that you probably have, or even Jack probably has. To be like a real fan of like multiple different platform or podcast models. But what does that mean? What is that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Jack,
I love it. Yeah. So when we got the sheep email, it just reminded me of like, hey, this would be a good deal. But what Rogan does is he brings in, for his companions, they're about the MMA, UFC companions. Okay. And, he's like an expert fighter, black belt dude, and he does the commentary on some of the UFC, like the big pay-per-view events. But he'll bring in like a fighter or a coach. And so they'll have a regular conversation while the fights are on. They watch them later, don't they?
No, they watch them live, and it'll be at least 4 of them in there. Sometimes it's like 4 to 6, a couple comedians and someone that really knows what they're talking about, and Rogan as well. And it's just basically they watch the whole night, almost. and they're just basically commentating on what they see. It's mostly just like bullshitting and comedy, and them drinking beers and smoking cigars and smoking whatever. And
sounds fun.
And they just pretty much just have a time where it's a little bit more relaxed. They got
an old man.
But they also like kind of nerd out on the fight. They're all passionate about the sport or the topic, and so there's a lot of cool conversation about it, which makes it pretty interesting. And that's what was kind of the goal of the sheep one, right? It's like we're all interested in
very
sheep in Alaska, the conservation of our animals here, and here's like the ADF&G like trying to be super transparent. So let's have a conversation around it.
That was actually pretty impressive. Realistically, I had like low expectations for that, because I don't really know what to believe or think of the State of the Union when it comes to that subject and the department's management of sheep. However, after attending that and listening to that and doing the companion recording, which was really fun because it wasn't like I was just sitting in my car at home by myself, like in my own thoughts. Like we were able to share, what we felt about a certain thing, or at the end, even just with the notes and stuff. But, it was like a totally different experience. And
yeah, it was something different. And we'll put it out on the Patreon for those that are, Patreon members or not, and then of course when you become a Patreon you can get access to all the other ones that have already been put out. I thought it was really insightful, informative. ADF&G, I mean, big props to them for coming and bringing out the biologists, and
who were a lot of them very uncomfortable.
Yeah, in front of however many people that showed up.
Yeah, there was like 386 people logged in or something.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yep.
I think there were more as it progressed.
Okay. Too. Yeah. Or maybe that was when I had logged in.
No, I think it maxed out like 380.
Okay.
Oh, it did. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But they did a really good job, pretty much bringing in people from different angles, bringing in the people that actually go down, the biologists actually go and net the sheep and do the tests and collar them,
explain the process,
and explain the entire process, and they even brought the guy with the history, which I thought was really cool.
Old Joe, right?
Yeah. Joe. I forgot the last name.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of look that.
I was a zombie during it, dude.
Yeah,
You
were
like in a mushroom brain.
Yeah,
dude, like just COVID fucked me up.
Yeah. It was Jack doing the recording with you. You wouldn't have thought that. You just thought that you were focused on it, and you were made the comments you made and everything you kind of like touched on were all really relevant to that specific topic. And you had some really good commentary, simple, brief, not a lot, but it was like.
Usually I'm like nerdy science analytics stuff, like that my brain's like firing, and it was like and then I'd like come up with something that I like, oh, it's like, oh, this is really interesting, and then I was like, I don't know if I could turn that into words. I'm gonna say be quiet and sit here and take a deep breath.
Well, and I was like curious too, like I was excited about listening to that with you because you're like one of the people I know that grew up as from childhood with the opportunity to sheep hunt on a regular basis. And I don't know that there's that many dudes that can say they've done that. And when you've had an opportunity to say hunt sheep for 20 years, 30 years, you can kind of relate to some of that and say, oh, I saw signs of this or signs of that. And in terms of, die-offs and things like that. Like if you've only gone 6 or 7 times, you only have so much data in your brain to like understand what the hell they were even talking about in that.
It's like all the people playing stocks since the last drop. They're like, oh, dude, it's all pretty. And you're like, well, if you had buddy in the stock market before in 2008, like you're,
Sure.
Oh my God.
We're not all stock experts.
I was really kind of surprised by how the sheep hunting had actually, I thought it was like at an all-time high peak now.
Oh, yeah. I thought so,
and it was back in 2000. Oh, hell. I forgot. I
it was like 10 or something,
notes.
Right?
No, it was even earlier than
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, it was like 2000. Like 98.
Oh, the highest.
Like 98, 99, 2000. Like, no shit? Like, wow, okay.
I was wondering about that actually during the podcast. And that time is about the time that all that stuff in the like northeastern Chugach became permit, right?
Yep,
like all that stuff past Palmer, that wasn't permit for a long time.
Great point.
And then even back towards Kinnick, I don't remember like when those, Meadow Creek and those ones became permit, but it was later. Mm-hmm. So you would have had more sheep hunters then. I don't know if Chugach would pull enough more people, enough people to like really bring up that number, or what else changed. But yeah, it's surprising, especially with like all the current like notoriety and popularity of sheep hunting,
for sure,
that it's not at all-time highs.
Well, I wonder about, as you said that, I was like, is it just popular because I'm super into it now, or has it just been popular and I'm just now getting into it? You know what I'm saying? Or I think it's popular because now I'm looking at everything that has to do with it.
I feel like it's more popular because like when I left here to go to college in Washington and people were like, oh, what do you like doing? And I was like, sheep hunting. They were like, who the fuck are you? Like, you're a weirdo.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what that is. And then, or, that kind of behavior. And then since in the last few years, like I've gotten met all kinds of people that were like, oh, you're from Alaska, do you sheep hunt? And so just that, like, it seems like that there's been more interest from the outside of Alaska.
I bet social media has had a lot to do with the interest, the peak interest, and also these companies now that are promoting obviously their brands and their clothes that are meant for, sheep hunting. Yeah. And so they're basically putting their dollars into certain magazines where you probably never would have saw a sheep hunting ad, which is really an ad for their jacket or whatever it is, that's in some big magazine that you've never, you know what I'm saying, that you wouldn't think normally there wouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
So that could be a part of it too. And I'm curious how it's going to go from now. Like, if it's going to go up, or how's that trend going to go?
It seems like the good part about the balance in that is that, the state's rules, like having to, be first of kin or resident to be able to go without a guide, and you listening to Mission, Alaska, like it seems like it's going to be pretty hard to be a guide. So is there going to be that many more really guide opportunity? So is like the guide, if the demand goes up, is the supply of guides going to rise? It doesn't really seem like it is going to, based on what, Austin was saying. So hopefully that like helps keep it in check in terms of like an animal management perspective.
Yeah, and on that too, I left that conversation feeling so much better about the state of sheep and their trends and their die-offs and their rises and their comeback and the future of. It's kind of like, I think we're just magnifying something that was already happening over 100-year span. Alaska is really hard on them things, and so. And we have super crazy variations in winter, and obviously everything's warming, and there's that stuff that's going on. We won't go into detail of that, but it made me feel like, oh, well, sheep are okay, and it's going to be okay. And I think it's something that we all should like really, really focus on making sure that we're not over harvesting. We're taking old rams that, we have to hope. And I know it's probably a 50-50 split where there's guides that are not letting clients take rams that are legal, but they want them to grow and they want their client to come back the next year when he's bigger. You know what I mean? Like you hope that there's that happening. But not to rattle on too much about that. Just at the end of that, I was like, oh, you know what? Everything's going to be fine. And we're going to have sheep to hunt for the next 20 years, and my kids can do it. And I felt like they kind of put that little bit of a, I don't know, they kind of like put the fire out for me. Yeah. I was kind of like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried about this.
I think the data definitely, it was nice for them to bring some data together over such a long period of time that had like key events in it, like bad snow years, a lot of ice and, that kind of stuff, to help understand, like the ebb and flow and the how long these cycles are for the sheep. But like coming away from the day, I definitely feel like I felt like there's hope, like we're on a positive, like, this is natural, but it was all-time low numbers. And that didn't feel good. And when you looked at how the other dips were, they were not nearly this low. And so it was like, okay, well, what's different there that's meaningful? And there's the hunting aspect, but there was the whole aspect in the pictures of like the less mountain vegetation. And that like kind of signal is like, hey, maybe that is going to be a problem in the future, and that there's a positive future for sheep, but just maybe like a slow decline over time in terms of the vegetation. So in the total populace, and then how's that change the area they're in now? And also though, does that open up some other areas that they don't thrive in? They didn't get into that. Because
they adapt and...
Well, maybe there's some other areas that they need vegetation higher up, or maybe it allows like the Brooks Range to get more vegetation, but not the trees, but just more vegetation in general, and then that can like handle more animals. I'm not sure what that upswing would be in the other areas. They didn't dive into that, but that would be really interesting to see.
Well, I would think that more vegetation would benefit some type of animal.
You think?
Maybe not as good for the sheep, but it could be better for, the moose or whatever. And I read something the other day. Actually, I think it was today. I don't even know where I read it. Something about how like the beaver now are like moving further and further north to the Arctic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think it was something to do with like permafrost and all that stuff, and it was just describing how like the beaver are moving further and further north because of temperatures getting hotter and all that stuff. It was just interesting to just see how things ebb and flow, and I just have you guys read? I just got done reading the Daniel Boone book by Robert Morgan. It's called Boone. Have you read that?
No, I haven't.
Dude, amazing.
Super good.
Oh man, it's so good. It's so good, and just like crazy to think about the market hunting and how people just lived off, selling the meat and selling the you know, the furs and everything that you could sell from the animals, and his whole life. It's just an amazing, you know, story of, you know, America. And
is it like a biography book?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just titled Boone by Robert Morgan. It's excellent. It's really excellent. It's just pretty much a history of him. Some of it, you know, told by, is that my phone? Sorry. You know, told by like his sons, and just all the things that he was into, and how he was just such a bad like business person, and his like model was just to avoid debt and just like move further,
run away from it.
Just run away from it, and how he really, like, in the end of his life, he realized that he actually was a part of ruining what he loved the most, was like the wilderness, because everywhere he would go, he would bring family members, and then people would follow them, and the next thing you know, that turns into like a town, and then that all gets hunted out. So then he needs to move further, and then he goes to this river, and finally ends up like in Missouri, and it's just like in the battles with the American Indians and the American natives, and just talking with them, and how like people felt that he was like a traitor to the Americans because he was, you know, he could speak the language of a lot of the Indian tribes and stuff like that, and how he was kidnapped by them and lived by them. And there's a lot of stories how people would get captured, and they would end up just not wanting to go back. They just fell in love with the culture, that they would just stay, and like people would try to come and rescue them, and they would be like, nah,
I'm good.
And then they would just stay there, you know, or they would go back, and they would feel like he was a traitor, like, oh, you're just like spying for them now, you know. And then how they would build these forts, and just that whole entire history of farming, and the way they gave out land, you know, the amount of land that was just given out and misappropriated and missurveyed, and so many land disputes. And it's a really, I mean, I think every American, especially if you're into hunting or any kind of history, it's a really, really good book. It's an easy read. It's not like, you know, it's real story kind of based.
Yeah, you can entrench in it.
Yeah.
D.B. Crockett and Daniel Boone were like my idols as a kid. So
I'm gonna get into that next. I normally do like a deep like history book like that, and then I gotta like
jump into something else.
Something else that's not as like deep, and then and so then I'll go back, and I got a Lewis and Clark one that I want to come into because they just started touching on them, because basically Daniel Boone, like by the end of his life when he was 80 or whatever, he had got to like Missouri.
Oh, he got
and
that
then
old,
as he was, then he would see the new crop like Lewis and Clark and all these other new people that were like going past him and going towards like the Colorados, and it was his like dream to finally go to the Pacific, and the furthest he got was like Yellowstone and stuff like that. And they would travel up these rivers, obviously, and all the dangers and animals, and the amount of like bears and the amount of just animals that they hunted was just insane numbers, like insane amount of numbers.
Yellowstone was probably chocked full like nobody's business back then.
And there's just the way they described it, you know, because they didn't know what it was, you know, and why they call it Yellowstone, for, you know, the reasons and all that stuff.
He lived to be old, dude, 1734 to 1820.
Yeah, I want to say he was like 86 or something.
Wasn't the life expectancy only like fucking 27 or some crazy number back then? That's probably over exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
It was way lower than 80.
If you lived to 50, it was probably like a really good run.
And he was still like hunting back then, and until his eyes weren't good enough. And that was the thing, like, you didn't think about, like, now you can only hunt until your eyes are bad, you know, like everyone, eventually your eyes go bad when you get older. But nowadays there's contacts and glasses and surgery and all that, but there wasn't any of that
that was
back then. So he would have people go with him
that could see.
And, you know, he would read the tracks and he could do everything up close, but he would need someone to like help him out on the way there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there's the bear. He's like, where? It's coming right at us.
That sounds pretty cool.
Well, that is I'm definitely going to read that, man.
That's a good one.
Thanks for sharing.
And I lied. I said I normally go into like something more light. I didn't find something light, but now I'm reading the history of whaling in America.
Oh, wow.
It's titled Leviathan, Leviathan. Leviathan? I don't know if that's what it is. The history of whaling, dude. It's like so far, I'm only
It's
like
insane, man.
I'm only like maybe like 10 chapters in.
Is it all in the Atlantic right now?
Well, it starts off way further than that. It starts off like in like the 1500s, like talking about how like the French were hunting and how like the Dutch took over and how the English wanted to come in, and then how when America became, and then all the Quakers and all that, and how it started with just like beach hunting, like whales would come up all the time, and the amount of numbers of beached whales is just crazy, and then how they would, you know, do all the things that they would do with the whale to in their everyday life, you know what I'm saying?
Harvest the oil.
The oil used to be what, you know,
the oil was a really
the
big
light
thing.
in New York City and Chicago, and they had like lights on the street,
and England and all that stuff, and that's what really made really made a lot of money. And even like the baleen and all that stuff, like corsets and all that stuff was like made out of that.
Oh, okay.
So they just like were so innovative on using all that stuff, and like the teeth, like once they started getting the sperm whales actually had like teeth.
Yeah,
it was crazy. And just the stories of how they would be attacked. Like a lot of the whales, depending on the species, were like submissive, or they run and hide. As some, like the sperm whale, would actually like turn and like attack them.
Yeah, well, the Moby Dick is a real story, right?
Yes.
So
yeah, you guys ever seen In the Heart of the Sea?
Oh man, that's a good one.
Oh, I didn't realize it was like as graphic
Yes.
as it was. Like I always kind of like knew the Moby Dick story, but it really wasn't actually about Moby Dick as much as he was responsible for making, you know, the sailors getting stranded for umpteen weeks or months or whatever. They were eating each other and crazy shit. But it was more or less about like the human will to survive and what they had to do, what kind of like ungodly things they had to do to accept and survive and then live with afterwards. Like, you know, your buddy dies next to you and you carve him up and eat him.
Yeah. Did you watch that movie?
No. Yeah.
You should watch it, dude.
no, is it like a remake of Moby Dick? What is it?
It's based on Moby Dick, but it like its own little spin. But it shows a lot of like real life things that happened. Back then, and continue on the whaling talk. Like they had to compete with pirating, which was really huge. Like I mentioned before in another podcast that
blood battles, man.
That book that I read, which is really really good too. It's Black Flags, Blue Waters, and it's basically the history of pirating, American piracy. But a lot of these books, they'll start off like in the beginning, like, you know, when the first pirate was around in 1496 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it'll lead all the way up until, you know, America became colonized and all that. I love getting into that stuff, man. I just get deep into that.
That's awesome.
I just like put myself in there like, oh man, like we would have been whalers.
Yeah.
Like that was like, they would say like 90% to 95% of all the men in Massachusetts were all whalers. Like they'd be gone for the entire season, and that's what caused women to be able to create their own businesses and creating their own civilization and take care of the crops and all the things, and just empowered them, because the men are gone the whole time and someone has to take care of the house and the kids and all the stuff, and they weren't just sitting around.
Right. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? They were getting after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the early 1800s, right? I think Nantucket.
Yeah, Nantucket was a good one.
Yeah, and it's been a couple of years since I seen it, but it is a pretty amazing film and a story. The story got me more than the actual film. I mean, the whale being all badass and like all like, you know, it was basically like hunting them and like following them for like miles on miles. Like it was like unheard of that the sperm whale would like separate from its group and like follow them.
Yeah.
Just all by itself, rogue bull, just to try to bury him and out of like revenge for killing the other whales. You know, it was like almost kind of like would be the storyline. Like the whale was retaliating, and it was like I read into it, and it was like, you know, whales were known to retaliate almost just kind of out of fear and just not like, you know, premeditating an attack is what they would kind of indicate in the movie, right? Like where the whale actually like would follow them, batter the boat, it'd fall to shit, then they'd be in lifeboats, and now he's battering those, and now they're like floating around on wood chunks, and he's still battering them. You know what I mean? It's like, I wonder if that really happened. That would
it did. It did.
Like, I mean, I think it did. When
like the percentage of people, like men that died, I want to say it was like 30 something % of people that died going out to the sea from either a wreck
Accidents
or stranded or piracy.
Yeah, starvation or just like
Yeah.
And then you got to think
bad.
about, like, when I was reading that pirate book, like, you get boarded by this, let's say you're just on a ship that's like bringing goods from wherever, from England or from France to America, or even, you know, slave ships that would come, and these pirates would come, and you either become a pirate and go with them or you die. It's like, okay.
Oh, they don't just let you go?
No.
If you give them your stuff?
They would let some go.
Okay.
They would let some go. But the majority of them, it was like, you either are a pirate now or you're dead.
Oh.
Because we're taking your ship and you're going to get thrown into the water.
Yeah.
It's
off the plank.
And then now you're a pirate, and you're on the, like, you know, you're the neophyte, you know, bottom of the rung.
Yeah, and then you have those guys that got converted to piracy, and they end up falling in love with it, and they become their own pirates, and then they get their own ship, because the way it would work is they would, you know, conquer a merchant ship or something like that, and then the captain of the ship would decide, oh, I like my boat, but like whatever boat, they're always going after a bigger, better boat.
Yeah.
And so he'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go on this, and then my secondhand man, like, you're now a captain on that boat. And we're gonna split. These guys are coming with me, and you guys are coming with me. And so now there's two of them, two boats, and they're going around. And then three boats. Yeah, exactly.
And they stay together.
And they would stay together, and eventually they probably would break up if there was some kind of quarrel or something like that, or it gets too big. Too big of a fleet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, I wonder if it was it really like how they did it, like the Fierce Pirate Roberts and the Princess Bride, where they're like, oh, well, I was the, you know, Fierce Pirate Roberts, but then I wanted to retire, so now my first mate became him. And did they do that? So they like kept a name going on the boat.
Yeah, they would, and then they would take the boat and rename the boat, and a lot of times that, like, it helped out a lot of the colonies, because they would have this money, and there'd be an influx of money when the pirates would come to town.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they would retire, and then they ended up, you know, buying land and all that stuff with all this piracy money, and they're like one of the only, like, rich people, you know, but everyone's a pirate, so no one tells on them, because at some point, you know, you would get some sort of reward for turning in, you know, pirates and all that, but then, like, the governors and the mayors of these towns would be like, well, this guy's, like, giving us a lot of money, you know, we're not going to turn him in.
Right.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I don't know. I think I would have been a pirate.
Interesting topic. Yeah.
Sounds like you want to be a pirate.
I do. I'm going to be a pirate on the key.
Yeah, I was kind of wanted to, like,
River pirate.
I thought
stealing all the good fishing holes.
Yeah.
Bastard.
I thought it would have been cool to live in, like, the 1860s to the 1900s. Kind of thought that would have been, like, the move to, like, go west and build a house and live in the country and just, like, start it all fresh back in the day.
Yeah, man, it was rough living.
You know, live like a cowboy. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. And I think it would have been cool to have evolved and made a life. And it would have been hard, right? Hard, but I would have loved it, man.
Yeah.
All day long.
No law.
Horses, cowboy boots. Yeah, would have been sweet.
Yeah, dude. You'd be down in Tombstone.
Exactly. Something like that.
Well, along with no law comes, you know, the lawless groups.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know
no, I mean, there'd be a lot of risk.
Seems like there'd be, like, a lot of fear.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, you'd be kind of living in fear all the time.
Yeah.
Then if you got a family, you're trying to protect them.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be even worse.
Yeah, definitely not going to have a family then.
Yeah, you mean you're not just leaving the wife and kids at the house for a month while you go run out and go mess around. You got to stay home and protect them, right?
Yeah.
Would have been
cool. They go on those long hunts where they're gone for months at a time to, you know, get pelts and meat and all that stuff, and they would just leave the family with like 8, and they were having tons of kids. They were like 6 to like 12 kids per. You
just sparked something in my mind. So, Jack, did you have a chance to listen to Blood Origins? That pod? Do you follow Blood Origins?
No.
No, Australian guy, right?
I think he's South African.
South African. That made me sound like an
maybe
ass.
New Zealand.
Yeah, I feel like he's got like so. Blood Origins is a hunting podcast.
Oh, it is.
Know? And Wes shared a podcast with us on. His guest was the president and CEO of the Wild Sheep Foundation.
Oh, okay.
What's his name, Daniel?
I'd have to look it up. I did share it on our story the other day, and I'll forward you that one. It's a really good one because it really touches on the Wild Sheep Foundation and where this money's coming from these guys that bid $480,000 for a a Wyoming or a Montana bighorn.
Yeah.
And like just this guy basically asked the Wild Sheep Foundation CEO guy like all the hard questions, the things that we were talking about after we went to the sheep show. Like, where does the money go? How do you get this? How's it allocated? Like, who's receiving this funds, and what percentage is actually going back to you guys? It's a really, really insightful. I would say it actually really turned around.
Gary Thornton.
Gary Thornton? Are you sure?
Gary Thornton. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was something else, but I'll have to look it up. But it really changed.
Well, what my original point was sparked my thought was we're talking about harvesting those animals back in the day, right? Boone hunting, endless animals and stuff. Well, I didn't realize that back then there was like 1 up to 2 million bighorn sheep.
Oh yeah, over the plains
through the whole North America, from British Columbia through the Midwest down to Mexico.
Right, and they weren't in the mountains then.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, they were like free range plains type animals.
This is all before we introduced and brought disease and kind of fucked it all up, not knowing, not deliberately, just ignorant, not knowing. And anyway, I thought it was really interesting because one of the largest harvest animal opportunities and most sought after harvested wild game meat was bighorn sheep.
Oh, okay.
And when he said that, I was like, wow, I had no fucking clue.
Huh.
And old Don Magic Juan, Donatello.
Yeah.
Yeah. He grew up in Montana in this mining town. And he said when he was real, real little, man, he'd go into the mountains with his dad and you just see hundreds of them. Bighorns, full curls, giant rams.
Like herds.
30 of them on a hill. Droves, cruising. He said it was like, it felt like then, and it might feel over-exaggerated, it was like a herd of caribou. There was that many sheep. And you go there today and that doesn't exist.
Right.
I think there's like 200,000 or 250,000 sheep or whatever it was that are left.
We don't have our facts right on the numbers.
I'd have to go back and look. Yeah, I don't want to start throwing that around. I sound like a total ass. But it's just nowhere near the 1 or 2 million number.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that they were like, you harvested bison and bighorn sheep.
Yeah.
Mule deer and whitetail and all that stuff, but sheep were so abundant.
Yeah.
That was wild. That was really wild to me. I was like, wow, that there was that many. And now there's a tag that goes for $480,000 in Montana.
Oh, is that was for Montana bighorn?
That was one of the top selling tags, I think, from 2000. Just this last year, it went for like 400 and something. But like the all-time high in 2000, again, I'll start screwing up facts, but it was like 480,000 was one of those tags went for, and then. It was great because they kind of went into depth, like where the money goes. Wild Sheep Foundation takes 10% off the top.
But not off all of them.
Not off all of them, just in general, though. For those big tags, most of the time, and the tags that they have at their shows and stuff. But
and then it goes to conservation
to that state's game and fish.
Oh, it does. Okay.
So basically, that video, the Sheep Companion, that money. I think he said on the podcast, 70% of the money that fish and game departments use for biology and all that stuff, I want to say that 70% of that comes from like tags and all that stuff, and 40% of that 70% is directly from them. Because of the amount of money that they can sell those tags for to, rich guys, and all that money goes back to them. And he was saying state by state, like, I want to say Alaska, like 10% goes back to them. Some states 0% goes back to them, and then there was a lot of on American native lands and tribes and things like that where they don't get any of the money. They just basically sell the tag for them so that they can give them all the money 100%. Back.
Okay.
So if people want to check that out, it's called Blood Origins is the podcast, and it's called Sheep Hunters Are Just Rich Guys. Oh, it's really, really good. It's it's only like an hour, but it covers minutes. Yeah, it's short. Yeah, it covers a lot.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now, actually. really, really cool. It actually just changed my mind because I know that we've gone to these sheep events. And you're like, man, what's all this money going to? Like, this is insane. Like, these dudes are like bidding all this money. And the basic idea that I felt that I got was like, we should be actually thankful that this guy is willing to spend, you know, $400,000 on something that he loves so that we can do things for cheap. Whereas he could have spent that money on a yacht.
Yeah.
And nobody would have benefited from him. But now him being able, wanting to spend that money on that gives everyone else an opportunity for them. And they were also saying that like for every big tag they do, they'll have like a raffle for all the regular people. So like those governor tag raffles that come out, like that's for the regular guy that could buy in for $5 or whatever,
or
and get
500 or whatever,
and get a chance for the same exact tag.
Okay.
That, you know, this guy bid for, you know, paid on the auction and all that stuff.
Yeah, what was that? Caribou was like 96,000.
Yeah, dude, that was
no, it was like 80 or 80,000. Yeah, and I put in for that tag every year.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, and Eric's dad Bruce drew it like 5 years ago, and we were like, oh, he got the Caribou tag, awesome.
Sell it.
We should like go. We should like try to go in there. We should try to go get that Caribou, and it's like never transpired. We were
you didn't go?
Well, no, we were in the area, but we were just in moose country, and we had to completely alter our hunt for like 5 days to get into the Caribou country.
And you didn't do it.
We just were like we were originally went into the hunt thinking, okay, we're gonna do like 12 days. 7 days here and 5 days there, and we ended up just getting a bunch of moose, and it was like, well, now we got to deal with moose meat, so we just bagged it, and we were just kind of like, next year, right? And then it was going to the foundation bank last year and seeing it go for that much. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize
it was that coveted.
It was that coveted. I mean, it's I guess it's a big trophy area, so I guess it's because that old boy that bought it, it was like the last Caribou he needed for like his
North American
his slam, yeah. And you like those hazies? They're pretty smooth, right? I mean, they're not bad. I'm good for now.
The hazy IPAs are, you know, they're a little more balanced.
Yeah.
You know,
that one in particular I thought was a little different. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them have like a nice citrusy flavor. It depends what kind of hops they use.
That one's dark too. You pour it in a glass, it's actually like,
oh really?
Yeah, it's kind of dark.
It's kind of weird. They have. No, they didn't write what kind of hops they used.
But yeah, you know, you mentioned it before, Daniel. It was cool because it kind of like changed or kind of reformed my thought process on, you know, I think last year between going there and beers and the sheep package thing I bought and ended up winning a rifle out of the deal, which was cool. I think I was in that $500 that night.
Yeah, so all that money.
And you know, Big Kyle was probably a cool $1,500.
What?
He bought the big package thing, and then
he did.
Yeah.
Did he win anything cool?
No, he didn't win anything.
Oh man,
that's how it goes.
If anyone deserves to win, Big Kyle.
I mean, he was just like he was just trying to go for anything that was, you know, ended with caliber. So that's what he was going for.
He's like, I'm getting into hunting. I'm going to win a gun.
I'm going to win a gun.
Speaking about Big Kyle, man, I actually ordered, and also shout out to Dustin's buddy, Crispy, that's his Adrian. We ordered a 3X and a 4X hoodie for the big boys because they've been complaining like, man,
big boy prejudice,
you guys fat shaming, you never have any stuff for the big boys. So when we were doing the order, I was like, you know, we got to get at least one 4X and one 3X so I can shut these guys up, man. They just been all the time because they'll see me with like something new or something.
And you know what? They don't even got to buy it. They can just have it. Like,
yeah, I'm just like, here you go.
This is for the hosses, man. Here you go.
He was like, man, I'm just gonna go buy my own, and then I'll give it to you, and then you guys can just put the logo on. I was like, I got you, man. Next order, I'll figure something out for you.
They were all making the shirt like, damn, fucking tarp.
That's huge. It's an extra $6 to get it printed.
So what do you guys think about these cookies?
Oh, I didn't. So that orange one was really good.
What was that?
So the orange one was turmeric.
Oh.
So it was turmeric with coconut and white chocolate.
Okay.
And I would never have thought about that concoction in a cookie, but it was good.
And what did I say? Like pumpkin? I thought pumpkin.
I had like ginger in there.
There might have been a little bit of pumpkin and ginger in it too, but those weren't the main.
And this one is this like a salted caramel or something?
So you're getting close.
Hey, what's the orange? Is that like, I want to say it's carrot cake almost.
This one?
Yeah, it's like carrot.
Did you eat it?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It's gone. There's not even a crumb over here. I don't know. Dude,
so this is a local girl named, her company's Concoctions Bread. She did a pop-up at Double Show.
Concoctions Bread?
Yeah. So shout out to her. You can follow her on Instagram. And she does like bomb like cakes and stuff, but it's all really creative and custom. And she doesn't have like a brick and mortar place. So
all right, let me guess though. Hold on. There's some kind of like craisin, I want to say, in there. There's definitely salt.
I'm all carrot. You're crazy. They are very mysterious cookies to try and figure out what is going on in there, but they are a party in your mouth. There's just it's almost like a disco or no, like a fucking rave.
Once you know what this is, you're like, oh yeah, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. But
man, it's on the tip of my tongue.
There's two things in this one.
I can.
I
know that's a unique flavor, and I can. As soon as you say it, I'm like, yep. Hold on.
They're both unique flavors. And
ASMR.
What is it? I don't know what's going on there, but they're delicious.
All right, let's let us know.
You want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first part is the butterscotch that you're tasting. Yep. But that's the easy one. The salt is from the bacon. And those chunks are bacon.
I felt that there was like a texture in there that was like meaty.
Mm-hmm. Bacon and butterscotch, you said?
Mm-hmm. Bacon, butterscotch?
I don't even like butterscotch.
Okay, so that's what this is.
And these are also gluten-free cookies.
Really?
They don't taste it, yeah.
Man, they're good.
They're hearty, too.
Yeah. No, she's legit.
That was really good.
Yeah. So Concoctions Bread, check them out. Bring your lady or dude some delicious cookies or a cake. Well, I think everything she has is gluten free.
That's good.
Badass, dude.
I had to get some for old Natalie. She's a gluten free.
There you go.
They actually bought that house over there in the neighborhood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been renting it and kind of like poking at the owners to sell it. Mm-hmm. And they got a pretty good deal.
Sweet.
Compared to what the prices have been going around there.
Over in the park there?
Mm-hmm. Really? Over by my house.
Sweet.
Let's take a quick second here while we're munching.
Just grinding on
some
cookies.
Give a shout out to some of the sponsors, especially these guys are just so busy. I talked to one of the my students. His dad's works for one of the competition for Taylor Restoration. He's in another restoration company. It's like, dude, we had to turn away so many jobs, and we were like the last company that they called because everyone's so busy, especially out in the valley from the windstorm and all that stuff. But regardless, if you have an issue, I would definitely call Taylor Restoration. 24-hour emergency services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold damage, wind damage, post-emergency cleaning, remodeling, and the aftermath, including burst pipes, overflowing toilets, downed trees, fires, pet accidents, and vandalism. Taylor has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you anytime, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage at 344-1239, Eagle River, Matsu, or hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Serrano's Mexican Grill is my personal go-to for authentic Mexican food. You guys all know that we order the Serrano's burrito on canning day often, and hopefully they'll be able to start delivering again soon. They usually do, but everything, is tough on the labor force right now, and their food truck's coming back soon. But it's Anchorage's own generation of casino. Recipes are inspired by their rich heritage and family know-how. All ingredients are made in-house. Both locations, Northern Lights and Tudor, have a tequila bar. I recommend the Mezcalita. Follow their food truck location when they're back on Instagram, and check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
See if I can execute this with precision.
The long version?
Yeah. Okay. Well, my ad read off is flip-flopped. I think I need to get the intro off and just have our...
Just that one.
Yeah, the platinum. Yeah. And to any future sponsors out there, this platinum spot is the premium. Listen.
It's the platinum?
It's the platinum. Exactly. This is the one you want out there. All right, folks. The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day because, honestly, there's always something good on deck. And, guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com. Must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
And ask them for some more AKO products over there.
Yeah, you said they aren't carrying it no more, huh?
I think they just have been doing really good down in Sitka. Is what they mentioned to me.
Distribution and everything.
Yeah, so if you could sell it there and not spend the money to...
The strawberry banana is just selling good in the southeast there.
Oh, it's just killing it.
Yeah.
That tangy. Oh,
man, that
tangy's just like
flavor on
nectarine right in your tangerine.
You know what? That's what I call it,
really?
nectar.
Yeah,
like whatever nectar is. You know, that's what I would equate it
nectarine.
Exactly.
I want to give another shout out to Cody Liska too. I just appeared on his Chattermarks. He does a podcast for the museum.
Dude, elaborate on that. What was that all about? You mentioned it, and then I never got a chance to.
Yeah, it was something that he had wanted to do since back in November, and he wanted to have a couple Alaska podcasters on there just to talk about trials and tribulations and how's it been going and all that stuff, and it just didn't work out until last week or 2 weeks ago, and so I think that'll be out probably next week on his Chattermarks thing, and he had me on from Alaska Wild Project, and then he had Ralph Serra on, and he's from Anonymous Eskimo Recovery Podcast, and then he also had Coffee and Quack is another big podcast up here dealing with a lot of Alaska Native topics and things like that. Really cool, really cool chick, and she has several podcasts. She has at least 4, I want to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she's doing really well, and so he wanted to have us on to chat about that. And we just talked about doing some promoting of our podcast with him and all that. So I told him we'd love to just tell people, if you haven't checked out Crude Conversations, which is his podcast that he does. I want to say he does that bi-weekly, and then he does the Chattermarks for the museum bi-weekly. And Cody's just an awesome guy, Cody Liska, from a super Alaskan family.
Yeah, the borderline blood.
The borderline blood. He's got, I think the last podcast he did is 178th episode.
Oh, wow.
That's really...
That was for Crude?
That was for Crude. And so that's really inspiring, and a shout out to that whole Liska family. And we have, should we say it? We got
yeah,
go for it.
We got Uncle Jay.
Yeah, Uncle Jay's coming on. Next week? Next Tuesday? No, 2 Tuesdays from now.
Yep, 2 Tuesdays from now.
2 weeks. Yeah,
I think we got
a little bit of surf and mountain biking probably.
Yeah, dude, I don't want to get into all that, and the borderline days.
Yep, the northern border.
Northern border, that's right.
Northern Fifth Avenue Mall days, dude. Back when people, I haven't been to the Fifth Avenue Mall in 10 years.
Dude, I went to the Diamond Center during holiday season. I was going because it was Mateo's birthday, and we went to Dave and Buster's. And we were meeting some of his buddies, and I was like, all right, well, let's walk around for a second. Dude, it's cracking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was just the season, but obviously, they've made some major changes in there since when I was in there. It's they got all kind of things going on. There's no empty spaces. It's just
nice,
bubbling in there. I didn't know people still went to the mall like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think in general, the South Anchorage area has grown with more neighborhood subdivisions kind of being put in there over the last 2 decades. So there's a little bit more of an influx of versus people like traveling from the west or east or north areas of Anchorage, like to the south to the Diamond Center. There's like more people that live around it. So I think it's just a more, I don't know. I mean, it's got Best Buy in there now. It's had it for years, but that's a, that's a popular big box store. And they put Chili's and Olive Garden in there, and they got the movie theater cracking in there, and Dave and Buster's. So I mean, it's kind of has more of an allure to it than just like the mall with the Lamont and back in the day. Gosh, and,
but the bowling alley's still closed, huh?
Yeah. I don't know.
No way, dude.
It's open.
I mean, we used to go the last couple of years all the time.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hot Topic's still open too if you need one. Some of those.
Yeah.
What was the jeans everyone used to wear? The you know what I'm talking about, with the chains and the big
Jenkos?
That's funny.
Jack, do you ever have a pair of Jenkos? I'm pretty sure you didn't.
No.
John Lau would see you walk in the door and put a scissor to those in 2 seconds.
I wouldn't wear those anyway. But
I
didn't even know that was a real name. I thought it was because I remember you one time going around calling everything Janko because you didn't know what it was. Wasn't that the
janky.
word? Janky. Yeah, janky. Yeah. All right. So I thought
Same thing.
I thought you were just being quick-witted with that. But this is the actual jean company is Janko.
Janko jeans, man.
Yeah, they're kind of janky. No, I didn't. No. I had some skater pants.
So they were
borderline.
Yeah, they were pretty close to that. I mean, they were a little bit more on the extreme side on the baggy pants.
Oh, it was like way extreme, dude.
I used to have to
You should pull it
roll,
up. Roll.
I know. I'm gonna get connected here. And anyway, I used to take. So the bottoms wouldn't drag, and I could fold them perfect over my shoes.
Oh.
I'd tuck the heel in, so the jean would be in my heel, and I'd tuck it in the back of my.
What kind of shoes were you wearing?
I mean, my mom was the manager at Lamont's, so I just kind of rocked, whatever Nikes or Adidas or Fila's or Pumas or whatever whatever on the. She already got the employee discount, then there was the clearance, and then it was then the shoes were always too big and the whole thing, right? Because it's you gotta grow into the shoes. And but when I got to junior high, she wouldn't buy me Jankos, so I would
oh, you wanted them, but
I wanted them, but so I'd
man. Pull them up, man, please.
I know, man. I for some reason I can't get this damn. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Anyway, man. I didn't get any until I got a homie's hand-me-downs, and then I did my chores really, really hard for 3 months and saved enough to buy 2 pairs. And then
were they expensive?
Yeah, they were. Well, I thought they were. I want to say they were $80 or
more. So it was
then.
a pair of Luckies back in the day.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And Luckies were nice, sharp, young man-looking pants. Yeah. Then those Janko, son.
Yeah.
I never got the chain wallet though.
Oh, I thought that came with it.
Oh, I never got those pants.
So it was huge pants that had the chain that went all the way down.
I'm pretty sure you got
knees,
the chain wallet
and then back
up, and it would tuck in.
Yeah. Did you wear some of those, Daniel?
No way, dude.
Yeah,
I had shit that my grandma was sewed. I did have some NC Hammer pants that my grandma sewed up, dude. I thought it was so cool.
I love MC Hammer pants, dude. Those were badass.
No, man. I actually looked at a picture of me in junior high, and I was wearing green pants with a red sweater. And I'm is it Christmas? And it's no, it's not. It's just what you are.
Regular day.
Tuesday in October. No.
Yeah, we were not into fashion.
Yeah, you see all the girls walking away from you in the picture.
Janko jeans. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man, I got to send you guys another one. The Young Guides podcast with Kyle and Keaton.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, these guys, man, know their shit, dude. I've been listening to a bunch of their stuff. Just all the tips and tricks they got, dude, on flies and fishing and just a lot of verbiage that I think I know about fishing, but it's they're just saying these things what does that mean when you're saying that? Really cool dudes. One of them.
Are they Alaskans?
Yep, I think he's from Sitka, and then one of the other guys. But they do a lot of fishing. Obviously in the off season, they'll go down to Montana and things like that, and do some fishing down there. But they're just starting up, man. But they got some really, really cool stuff. We got to bring them up here once they say when they come back for the season or whatever to get some tips and tricks from those guys.
Yeah,
they really
cool.
seem to be just straight up trout bums.
Nice.
Yeah.
Trout bums?
Oh, I love those movies, the Trout Bum movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen those.
Trout bums?
Oh, yeah. They're pretty cool. The fishing browns in like New Zealand and what's the Mongolian trout? Like it's like 80 pounds and it's not a tarpon. It sounds like a tarpon though.
You having some technical difficulties there, bud?
Big time, dude.
All right, let me just do this
Yeah,
real quick.
it's the TV.
Is it?
Yeah. Like, well, I just finally got it to this setting.
It's snowing at least.
Yeah.
I got you, bud.
Yeah.
I think it's
There you go.
I think it's the Microsoft product.
Yeah. Didn't have a
So
problem
you said you wanted to
before.
see what Jenko Jeans is about?
I do.
All right, let me pull it up here.
Oh, so it was a bummer Gid couldn't join us tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him.
How's he doing, man? Is he all
I talked
right?
to him today. He's recovering. Yeah, he's starting to feel better, so hopefully he can come up soon. And then, whoa. Those are the ones you wanted?
Like that kid right there with the orange shirt. Go right there.
These?
Yeah. Straight up. That's it right there.
Nice, dude. Those are huge.
Yeah.
They're basic. That's why they're expensive, because they're really 4 pairs of jeans
Yeah, so the other
in one.
So at my high school, these are the guys that would wear those would go out to the trail to smoke.
Yeah.
The smoke
Yes. Yeah.
The smoke.
Look
trail.
at this one. This is like fancy, like work ones.
Oh man, there it is.
People are
business on
still
top and
wearing
party on the
these?
bottom.
Oh, they're coming back, dude. I see
Oh,
kids
they
in
are?
the school now, elementary school. They're
I believe
like,
it.
all that stuff's like
Like,
back now, dude.
Look at
It's
the
like
homie,
the 90s
the homie
again.
with the hat backwards. That is like classic right there. Just like they aren't like too crazy big, but they're still stupid big.
What do you put in this pocket right here?
I don't know. Whatever you put in there, you forget it's
It's
there.
your trapper keeper.
Your bong?
Just tuck
just
this
huge.
in back here. Just has a little seal cap on it so the water doesn't spill.
So they went from like skinny jeans to these jeans already, like in the last couple of years.
Oh, dude, big
Skinny
time. It's
back to
90s,
huge?
man. They're wearing the
Overalls.
overalls, man, with the
Yeah.
one thing down and the holy things, and like just straight up. It reminds me of high school, man. All the kids now in elementary school are just like in high school.
Oh man, I should have saved all my clothes from high school.
That's
Dude.
it. You would have been cool now.
Yeah.
Oh man, or it would have been worth a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
Jack, I thought about the fish taimen, right?
Yeah, taimen.
Taimen.
Nice. Yeah.
Taimen. Yeah, it just like
Yeah.
came to me all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Those big ass like king salmon sized trout,
Oh yeah, bigger.
huge.
Yeah, like they have like in the rivers over
There we
there.
go.
It's a fish that looks
Big
like the
red fin.
grayling
There
that's
it is right
related to
there.
him, and it eats these like huge grayling. Look at how big that streamer is on the bottom right. This is Kenzie and I. This was like
damn.
our dream trip.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, it's so rad.
What is it? You just put like a bird on a hook?
Oh, what a lot of guys
That's
fly
like
fish that.
the local people like because this is like way up in in Mongolia where like
It's a crazy
it's only
reserve where,
become, like,
where you can fish that.
modern fishing just recently in the last 20 years. But before that, like the locals would like put like a squirrel or whatever equivalent like on like a piece of wood with a hook in it and float it out there and then rip it off. And then this giant trout would come get it.
Yeah. I didn't know that those were considered a trout.
Yeah, they're the biggest trout in the world.
The taimen.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, that's what I
they're
thought
monsters,
it was a
dude.
taimen.
The Siberian taimen.
Man, there was a thing on the Outdoor Channel a couple years ago where it was followed this guy's big pregnant female.
Oh man,
Damn, dude, that's huge.
Hucho.
So he caught it in the fall too. It looks cold. Man, look at those fish.
Yeah, it was cool. The videos that I was watching, I think it might have been on the Trout Bums one where they had like hiked up on this ridge, and they were
spotting them.
and you could just see them in the water. Dude. They're just mondo.
Big ass long backs.
These all look like
They
rich
have
white
like
guys.
a red. Oh, for sure they are. Yeah, oh, that
Where's-
guy owns Google.
Where's the Siberians, man? Oh, here we go. Here's a local boy. You could tell him right there.
Oh yeah.
Right there. That's Vladimir.
Vladimir.
That's Vlad right there. So I got to show you where this is. Big one.
Yeah, there's some really cool guide
First
camps
you
that they
pay.
have out there now. And there's like a really huge conservation thing that they're doing as far as keeping that wilderness area pristine
Oh, really?
and unaccessible. Yeah, like you can't, like I'm pretty sure there must be some permitting, or obviously I want to butcher this information, but there's got to be some sort of access permitting of some sort for these guides to fish these things. But this isn't like you just go out here and you know, go out and camp and trash and leave beer cans and shit out on these areas. Like these are pristine wilderness areas with no civilization, like within miles.
That's a pretty cool
some of
map.
these
So they
river
got
areas.
the Siberian taimen. They have like the Korean taimen in Korea. The Sichuan, which is what, India? No, that's
Yeah.
Mongolia there.
Yeah,
What is Mongolia?
that's China.
China. And then they even got some sparse out over here.
Oh, yeah.
The Danube salmon hucho.
Yeah, you got it over there. Like, that looks like Azerbaijan, Turkey, Hungary.
Probably some big rivers that run through there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Way deep wilderness, too. Especially
Yeah,
up
that
in there.
sounds pretty
I
cool.
mean, there's like untouched areas back in there with no people living around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Have you
pretty
heard of those
incredible.
like superpacks of wolves that they have in the Siberia?
No.
Yeah, man. What's up with those?
I was looking into that, reading into that. They have just these super packs that's like 300-400 wolves, like hundreds of packs, and they'll just come through like. And then whenever they come in by these like small villages, like literally, like the people just have to like lock themselves in when these wolves come in because there's just so many of them. And there was this video I saw. This police officer had pulled over someone in some town up in Russia and Siberia, and he's like on this bridge, and there's like a light, like the only light was where they were. He must have been crossing some bridge or something like that, and then he's like, the video is the officer like talking to the guy who's still in the car, and then you just see the officer like look behind him. And then he just jumps into the back seat of the guy's car who had pulled over. And then you just see like hundreds of wolves run by. Just like, whoa. You're like, oh my God,
Guys,
dude. Look.
is there a
Like he
little
jumped in
earthquake
there to
going
like.
on here?
Earthquake?
Yeah, a little one.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this building shakes hard.
Oh, I didn't feel it.
You felt it though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys weren't touching the table, and the mics were moving right there. Yeah, for our listeners out there that aren't from Alaska, we have earthquakes all the time.
Oh, my wife said she heard it woke her up, man, the sonic boom from the Tongan volcano.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When was it? What night was this?
Man, it was not that long
It's
ago.
like 3 days ago.
Yeah, 3 days ago.
It was
happened.
underwater, though, right?
Yeah, did you watch the video?
Uh-uh.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I gotta-
can we watch it right
Yeah,
now?
let me pull that video up.
I also
Dude,
want to
sounds
look
cool.
up some information on these super packs.
I know. Don't leave that. That was, you were talking about I so interrupted that conversation, and you guys were deep into it. I apologize, but I don't like. Freaking
Yeah, she and
earthquakes,
then
but-
I read the day after that you could hear the volcano all the way up in Alaska, because she was like, "Did you hear that earthquake or whatever that was?" And I was like, "No, I didn't hear nothing." Like she's like, "Yeah, it was like at 4 a.m. or something." Let me look at
I definitely didn't hear it.
No, I was mouth breathing.
There it is right here.
It disconnected for some reason.
Oh, you're not. Oh, I think because you turned yours on.
No. I'm out. I'm off.
All right, hold on a second. Connect this real quick again.
Yeah, I'm still kind of like trying to figure out how this.
What's
there
that
you go.
computer, man? Your thing doesn't like it. Doesn't like to connect.
No, they don't. They don't.
Oh, that's not really the. Oh yeah, there you go.
Holy shit! Look at the shockwave. Wow, it's all satellite imagery.
Tsunami. Yeah, it messed up a lot of some of those villages out there in Tonga. I've actually been meaning to talk to some of my Tongan parents and see what they, because a lot of them, they haven't been able to communicate. With a lot of, it just took out like everything. I think they said it destroyed a lot of like the cables and stuff in the ocean.
Okay.
Oh, all the fiber optics.
Yeah, the fiber optics. You said you want to look up the superpacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was,
So why, like, what's the deal with these? Like, why are they letting them become super packs, I guess?
I don't know if that they're letting them, but like if you think about how big Siberia is, the forest in that wilderness is like as big as the United States. So imagine the United States with no cities. There's like that amount of space just allows for that amount of growth.
Yeah.
Like this 400 super pack wolves threaten town. Let me pop this one. Let's see. This is
even Rogan covered it.
That's probably where I first heard about it.
That's pretty wild, huh?
Yeah, that would be insane.
That the wilderness
You're just like hiking down this like game trail, being quiet, looking for a moose or something, and then you see, like, they're probably going single file, right? And like 400 of them rolling by. You're like, I'm rolling real still.
Yeah, and I mean, just think about there's got to be still a alpha.
Yeah,
that's just like in charge of all these.
They just have pictures of one.
The super.
Yeah, this isn't
super boss.
They just have pictures of the cute one.
This is one from the zoo.
This isn't exactly a super wolf pack. Wolf.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Largest wolf pack in the winter of 2010, 2011. A super pack of wolves numbering over 400 reportedly terrorized the Russian town of Verkhovka. Population 1,300 in the northern region of Yakutsk, one of the remotest inhabited areas in the northern hemisphere. More than 30 horses were killed in just 4 days, according to local officials, and teams of hunters were established to patrol neighborhoods and shoot the wolves on sight. Animal experts suspicious of the claims say that wolves usually form packs of no more than 10 to 15 animals, although the particularly harsh winter may have killed off the wolves' usual prey, forcing them to attack larger animals.
So
it was a natural ebb and flow of their conditions and habitat changed dramatically, so they had to make drastic measures to
well, there's also some history stories too on I don't know, World War One, maybe World War Two, where they literally had to stop fighting each other and shoot the wolves. Because as, people would die, then the wolves would come in and just start, there's just meat everywhere, people dead. And then eventually they got so emboldened and there's so many of them, and then they would just decided to like take a break and like shoot the wolves and then go back to shooting each other.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
Yeah, where did I read that in, man?
Kind of makes sense based on
I don't think I would want to be in war there with all the. I mean, we wouldn't want to be at war anywhere, but especially a spot where you're like just chilling, and then
trying not to get shot.
Dead people, it's probably World War One, but all the trench warfare. But I don't know. But regardless, well, probably World War II if it was Russia. It was Russia.
Yeah, I want to say it was Russia and
Germany.
The Germans.
Yeah.
And they just declared like a ceasefire. Maybe I could find it. Yeah. They declared some sort of ceasefire because of all the wolves.
Wow.
Well, and it was kind of cool, like going back to that sheep companion we did, and how they highlighted like how they could identify what they thought were predatory kills with like tracks and the way that they were torn up, or if it was a wolverine or a wolf, they could kind of figure it out. I found it pretty fascinating that it is kind of what you already expect, but like for them to kind of elaborate and or even confirm your ideal that like predators are what actually kill more caribou, sheep, and moose than like any hunter.
Oh, for sure.
Or anything. You know what I mean? And that's natural mortality. That's just that's pure nature. It's carnivores eating herbivores or whatever. And so it's like,
But those come in real big, a real big cycle.
right.
That I think we're trying to avoid, so then people can, we have the animals, we can continue to harvest them.
So on this meateater.com, they have like a little fact checker section, and it says the claim is that during World War I, German and Russian forces declared a temporary ceasefire and banded together to hunt wolves. The voracious animals were attracted to the prolific and gruesome scavenging available in the war zone, attacking soldiers and civilians alike. And then it says...
So it was World War One.
It was World War I. And then the facts are, in February of 1917, a dispatch from Berlin noted large packs of wolves moving into populated areas of the German Empire from the forests of Lithuania and Volhynia. Locals hypothesized that the war efforts displaced the wolves, so the canines started seeking out new hunting grounds. The hungry wolves infiltrated rural villages, attacking calves, sheep, goats, and in 2 cases, children. Scary. They also showed up on the front lines, feeding on the fallen and sometimes taking advantage of incapacitated fighters. Oh my God. Did you just get your leg blown off and here comes a wolf?
Yeah.
Jesus. Parties of Russian and German scouts met recently and were hotly engaged in a skirmish when a large pack of wolves dashed on the scene and attacked the wounded.
Wow.
The Russian and German soldiers temporarily stopped being enemies once they found a common foe. Both sides agreed to a ceasefire if the wolves interrupted another battle. And then it says poison, rifle fire, hand grenades, and even machine guns were successfully tried in attempts to eradicate the nuisance, but to no avail. The wolves, nowhere to be found quite so large and powerful as in Russia, were desperate in their hunger and regardless of danger.
Wow, look at that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Look at the last thing there. It was a wolf plague. They called it. Overcome the wolf plague. That's cool, man. I mean, it's not cool. It was, I'm sure that those experiences for those human beings were horrendous. But it's incredible the on-the-fly adjustments nature will make when it's necessary for survival.
Yeah.
Right? Like those wolves up to that point wanted nothing to do with humans, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like most wild animals, right? They don't actually want to be around you, smell you. You're a fear. You're an instance, their instant reaction to you and smelling you is like, you're different. I'm out.
Yeah.
It can't be good.
Well, I would think that as those troops move through those areas, they would probably hunt deer and whatever elk was around
definitely.
to like supplement the rations,
Yeah.
the meager rations they're probably getting from their government. Just the same as, to tie it back to the sheep thing, just like when they mentioned on the on that sheep talk thing, how when they were building the Alcan, like the front forces or the front builders, like that's what they lived on.
Yeah.
Right.
So they would have people go out and
Off
hunt,
sheep.
and they would just bring back bighorns and Dalls and moose and whatever else to feed the men that were creating the highway.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. That was almost direct correlation to the bighorns, in North America that fed the Westerners in the North, that there were sheep where it was, you got high enough in altitude or elevation, I should say, that the caribou and moose dispersed. Now you're in sheep country.
Yeah.
And there was lots of sheep. So you harvested them for their meat. It wasn't a trophy hunt.
Right.
It was a meat hunt.
Yeah.
But for Dall sheep.
Yeah.
Which you think now, like, it's not like I'm filling my freezer with a sheep.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't really happen.
No.
I mean, if you and 3 guys went and killed 3 sheep, you could probably come back with a pretty damn good supply. But that doesn't happen very often. And even you bring home 2 sheep, it's not a lot.
No, I
It's
mean,
like-
what's it going to last you a couple months?
Yeah, you get maybe 60, 70 pounds of meat
Yeah.
off the bone, really, at the end of the day. So you eat 20 pounds of it in the field, right?
Yeah. As much as you
Brisket's
can.
gone, the tenderloin's gone, half the back straps are gone.
And they're damn good.
Oh,
That's the best, man. Oh, something about it. I always have that little seasoning in the pack.
Oh, yeah. And then I brought the oil. Remember I brought the little oil pack?
Oh, yeah, that was...
To dress it.
That's
and then
right.
we put the salt and pepper, and then we cooked it over the fire.
I always have that coconut oil in like a
so you
little
were
tiny
saying
container.
that's solid, man.
Yeah, because
Or some ass fat, man. That's really all you need. Some chicharrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot tip there, man. If you don't have the oil out there, just cut a piece of that fat off the back rear end there, and just what we did is once we got back to the creek bottom or whatever, and we built a little fire, and I got the flat, like from the river, just get the flattest, thinnest rock you can get, and kind of make it like a pan, where you'll build like a fire, with rocks around it and fire under it. Then that thing just gets sizzling hot, and then you put on that ass fat and just sizzle it around there. Just put that meat on there. It's just like a cast iron. Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Yum.
And then eat the fat after it like crisped up.
Oh, was that good?
Oh, the chicharron.
Yeah, it was gamey, but it was. I mean, I don't know that you could come home and cut a slab and fry it in a cast iron and like in your kitchen and eat it and be like, oh.
But out there, your body craves it.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah, and it really was. The rams we killed that year, they were both so healthy, and slabs. Like I took that one big ass slab and saved it. I was like, I want to get to the bottom, dude. We're gonna. So I cut it like in like thin slices, so it would break down and render, I guess you could call it almost. And it would just like lubricate the top of the rock, and then so it was just all oily, and then so I'd have like little chunks all around the edges, so they're like, and they're kind of like, the oil was just like seeping down. Cook a few pieces of meat, and you'd stir the fat around, and you'd push it back to the edges of the rock, and put another slab on there.
Nice.
It's pretty fun. We got some good video of that too.
Yeah.
Not quite a big game recipe, but
I should clip that out and put it out.
What
that's pretty
seasoning
cool.
did you have?
I think you just brought like a salt, pepper, and garlic.
Powder.
Like a garlic powder.
A little trifecta little thing. We used every ounce of it.
Yeah.
Not. I think we ate the entire brisket, both sheep briskets, in one sitting.
Nice.
Yeah, ate them all. I think one of the sides of yours was blown to shit, so I don't know if we ate one full, because we were like full at the end.
Yeah.
It was kind of like choking down those last like big slabs. But I was like, you're not like, you're not gonna like throw it in the fridge, or you're not, or, waste it. So we ate it till we were almost sick. But yeah, I mean, shit, there's 10 pounds of meat right there, right?
Yeah.
Eat a couple
Lighten
biscuits.
the load.
That's right. Helped a little bit.
Yeah. Save the knees.
Yeah, I mean, and kind of like circling back to, I think we were, before our podcast tonight, we were just going to wing it and kind of freeball it, because we don't do that very often. We've kind of been structuring and having guests, and that's been great, but kind of having just a fun conversation. We haven't been able to kind of do that. But I mentioned I wanted to talk a little bit about the sheep conversation, the whole thing. Like, it gets back to that, and I feel like I kind of almost want to lean toward maybe getting more involved in getting a Sheep Foundation membership, and like being part of the cause. For what it represents. I kind of wasn't really didn't quite understand if I joined that and became a member. Like, what is it really doing? My buddy Patsy Santoro, he's a huge member, and he's always promoting it. He's giving me the magazines all the time at work, and I read through them, and I'm like, man, it's just a bunch of rich old white guy shit. It's kind of what I felt like.
Yeah.
But that was just a really uneducated and ignorant thought process about it, because I really didn't know about it. I never took the time to figure it out. I just saw all these the ads for all the super expensive guns and scopes and gear, and it wasn't just a Silverado in the ad. It was like the High Country, which is like the $80,000 truck. So it's like this thing's angling towards this white collar dude, and that ain't me, this isn't I can't relate to this shit. And then when he put it in perspective on that, well, that rich dude actually allows you in the state you live in the Board of Game and Fish, to take helicopters and nets and research equipment and biologists to go up into these mountains and get these animals and figure them out and help manage them and make it so there's more opportunities for you to hunt and tags for you to draw. And it's like, shit, well, man, that rich ass dentist is actually hooking me up.
Yeah.
Because now I can throw a $5 tag in the draw in December and maybe get that coveted tag that some dude might be paying $120,000 for in the banquet this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. That was a huge shift in like, okay, like maybe I can get more involved and throw a $50 a year or whatever the hell the membership fee is and kind of have some skin in the game in that.
Yeah.
You know, like
I wonder like what is more beneficial. Like you're after, conservation and in Alaska.
That's what Blood Origins was about. Hunting is conservation was the message.
Yeah.
And this is why.
Right.
And sometimes that's a confusing statement.
It's the Ducks Unlimited message. Like,
there you go.
And I think Ducks Unlimited is like easier for people to grasp because they're like, okay, well, they can actually show like this many wetlands, acres of wetlands or miles of wetlands are now protected and all this because of them. Like I think, and there's way more members for sure in Ducks Unlimited.
Oh, and they've been, yeah.
But it's the same sort of deal. But what I was going to say is like, I get what you're saying. Like, you're like, oh, well, this is a good organization and I want to support them. I could get on board with supporting them because, I believe in the cause, but the cause that I think you believe in is the local cause. So my point to that would be like, well, why don't you just give Fish and Game $50? Because then it goes 100% to what you want and not like administrative fees and all this other stuff and how much more of that money goes. I always kind of juggle that with any of like the nonprofits. It's like, okay, well, I want to donate this chunk of money, but how well is it going to be used? So if you can give it direct to the source, it has the best usage.
Yeah. Well, they did bring that up on some point where I think he had an actual factual number where he said, the year before they started auctioning off that Montana tag, I don't know if it was Montana or Wyoming,
Montana.
He said that in tag revenue, they would make like $120,000 or whatever a year for the state. And then that once they auctioned off the tag, it was like $380,000 on top of the $120,000. So one person is like quadrupling the amount of money that is going back into the Fish and Game, which is pretty astounding.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, for sure. But I think they should still do that. What I was just getting at is like if me and Brandon were going to go into this together, like I might be like, well, instead of just, I don't really want extra pages of waste. Like I don't want a magazine show up to my house that I'm going to throw in the trash can probably.
Yep.
And it's shipped to Alaska, all that shit that comes with it. And then there's like some administrative fees and, like how much of your $50 a month or a year, whatever, goes to the cause that you want it to versus like if you just like call it Fish and Game, you're like, hey, I want my $50 a month to go to conservation sheep. Like that's 100%.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have an actual like pick, click, give kind of deal where you can be like specific.
Yeah, that would be cool if they did.
Yeah. Well, he did also mention in that Blood Origins thing where let's say that Oregon or whatever sold their sheep tag or whatever for $400,000, but really the Department of Fish and Game realized that there's a need for moose, that they were able to allocate some of those funds to help for that.
Oh, okay.
So they have discretion to kind of use it for some of the money towards, some other need that's might be higher.
Critical.
A biological research project on certain.
But we're donating already. I mean, if you want to donate extra, just apply for more tags.
Exactly.
That is a great point, man. I mean,
because I'm putting at least $200 a year with the tags and the license and all that stuff, and then you put in the kids and the wife.
That was $460 for me this year. Yeah, it was expensive.
Yeah,
I wanted to go more, but I was like, all right, man.
So our family is originally from Wyoming. We moved up here when I was young, but my dad's always been into conservation and stuff, and we had these magazines at the house, and they were called Wyoming Wildlife. And they're a magazine put on by the Department of Fish and Game, and it has really interesting articles like the stuff that came out in that sheep podcast, but for Wyoming specific. And then they have beautiful photo contests that they let people put in for like every magazine. So it's gorgeous pictures, great stories, really short, super cheap. I think it's like, man, I think I pay like. So anyway, we had them growing up, and they're in the bathroom or wherever. They're everywhere. Yeah. And so, like, when I started having little kids, I was like, oh, shit, my kids need Wyoming Wildlife Magazine because we don't have an Alaska one. And, I pay whatever it is, $20 a year or whatever. But it's the Wyoming Department of Fish and Wildlife or whatever. It's the opposite. It's not Fish and Game, so it's like Game and Fish or whatever.
Game and Fish, yeah.
Does it, and all the proceeds go to their department, so it like funds their department, and it's a way to get all their information out. Like I know more about what Wyoming's doing than here, but it's like the state of Alaska should do something like that. Like people from all over the nation would buy an Alaska magazine, and then it like 100% supports the Fish and Game, and you'll think about like the photo opportunities. There's photo contests in every one of these Wyoming Wildlife Week. We have million photo opportunities a year. Yeah. It would be really cool, and that would be a good way to like add some funding in.
Well, I wonder if they're building up to that because I know they send out those emails that are like 3-4 page informative. Sometimes have a story, you have links to this and pictures in there. Maybe they're just a little bit more. I don't know, progressive and just doing it online versus having a mail out. But I agree. Like if you're like, hey, it's $5 to get a magazine and you have something cool to have around the house or in the studio or whatever, and you're knowing that money is exactly going towards.
Well, and then people from the States would probably buy it, right? Yeah. And so now you're getting all kinds of people funding, the local department.
Yeah, I wonder what the like what it costs or something.
Yeah.
If it's worth it.
Do you guys
like
subscribe?
what percentage of the cost come back?
Yeah, I wondered. I mean, you could probably even find out what would if there's the contribution from Fish Alaska, Hunt Alaska magazine. If there
is that related to the state?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'd actually like
I always
to know.
thought that was a private magazine.
It is. I mean, it's a private company, but I wonder if there's some sort of like. Are they throwing in something? Are they affiliated? Because, I mean, obviously there's a great opportunity for the Fish and Game footprint to be, out in something other than just their website or articles or whatever. I mean, this is like a public magazine. So I used to subscribe to it. I haven't gotten it over the years. It was kind of like one of those things. Jack, like what you just said, man, you just have like all these paper laying around. But man, I love the magazines though. I love the stories. I love the photos, and I don't know if you ever really like ran through a full year. And Hunt Alaska's really only come out twice a year. They're seasonal versus like a Fish Alaska that comes out every month, and it's kind of like a lot of the same when it comes to hunting and fishing magazine. Like. How many times can you talk about cohos in August, September, and how many stories? You got to love the shit. So it's just like something you're passionate about. But some of the hunting stuff is really cool because you can relate to it. There's some really great gear reviews in there too that I've always thought were really cool. Stuff that was like coming up or coming out. I know it's always kind of something we talked about doing, but great gear reviews. I really enjoy that magazine. I haven't really read it a lot though.
I certainly haven't.
Look at Spring 18, new hunts for the new year, like that kind of shit. That's cool.
Yeah. I think like this is cool for sure, and especially like with the part where they have the processing of the meat and the butchering. But I think like what would be cool about like the fishing game specific is that they would be talking about like, hey, this is the cool research we're doing. This is like, you've seen all the stuff that's happened with king salmon over the last 20 years. This is what we figured out, that kind of stuff. And so it's a way to like update the public, just like they did with their sheep talk on what's going on. And I like that part.
Yeah, I'll get behind that big time.
Speaking of the king Salmon, man. Did you get the email
No.
about the Derby?
Ooh, when is it this year?
Let me look it up real quick. They said, what'd you say?
I think it's April. Mm-hmm. Early Aprel.
I just got it.
When was
here.
it? Was in
It's,
April last year.
April 9th.
Yeah, I
April
think they
9th.
are officially moving it to that later date, which I think is cool. I think a little bit later is better.
Is it? Is it better for fishing?
I don't know about the fishing part. I'm talking about just conditions in general.
Oh, yeah, for driving your boat.
You know,
down
I
and
mean,
stuff.
it still can be, you can still get caught in a snowstorm or whatever. Just more daylight.
Yeah, the weather was
just
nice. The
starts to
road
get-
was.
Yeah, it was
nice
great
the whole
last
time.
year.
Well,
Yeah.
wasn't the pass nasty though? When their guys rolling their shit over and there was
We did see a truck rolled over in the pass,
Yeah.
but it wasn't too bad, and it was beautiful. It was all snow white, but it
Did
wasn't.
Jernigan?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, there wasn't very many fish though. I mean,
There wasn't a lot
I
of
think
fish
there
caught.
was like 19 fish. Wasn't that right? It was like under 20 fish caught.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't very many.
Yeah. So new for 22. What do they got going on there, Daniel?
Saturday, April 9th. 1-day tournament, tens of thousands of dollars. Side tournaments, random prize. Oh, that's right. The 10-year-old won last year. Andrew Marley was the youngest champion in tournament history with the fish weighing 25.62 pounds. Yeah, I'll take another one. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll do one of those hazies.
I'll take the crush. Crush.
Let's get crushed out.
Yeah, the kid won, and he ended up winning like the youth tournament and the regular tournament and the boat one. He got like all kind of money.
The trifecta.
Yeah. So that's open for registration right now. I don't know, like if you don't have
Right on.
a friend or a boat yourself, how do you get into the tournament? You don't? Can you like charter out something, or could you like? It'd be cool if they had like an open.
Get your kayak or your paddleboard, man. Get after it.
Get the kayak out there. Just get after it.
Canoe. Just get out there.
Oh my god, dude!
No way, man.
They should make a paddleboard division.
Yeah, that'd be gangster.
That'd be
Yeah,
tough,
I'd like to
man.
try to participate this year.
Oh, you missed last year.
I did. I actually don't want to try. I want to do it. So hopefully,
We'll tell you what you do. You go home, you go in the kitchen, you go to the
Flip
calendar,
the
flip it to
calendar up.
April 9th,
Yep.
and just put winter, actually April 8th
Yeah.
to the 10th. You put
Yeah,
Winter
you put
King
Friday
Derby
off.
with the arrow all the way across.
Yep.
And be like, honey, I'm going to be
Put
gone.
the time in off work on that Friday. It's already on.
Yep.
No, you're right. I mean, that's what's up. Jack, are you gonna get the old
Insider?
inside? That's what I was.
The deep insider, baby.
Deep Insider.
The deep insider. Yeah, I mean, John.
When are you guys gonna officially
John-
just name it and just do it?
Well, we are. We just we have other stuff. I was farming all day today. At some point.
I'm gonna name my bull,
Just
right?
we already named it. We just gotta get stickers. That seems like not that
Easy.
big. Yeah, we'll let Jake do that.
Yeah, pick something cool out.
Yeah, we're gonna go down. I guess. Well, now that I know the dates and they don't match with my steelhead trip, then actually,
I need to know about that too.
Ooh.
Man.
Is that a back to back?
I think it's exactly when we're going.
Oh, because
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's
Well,
a
later.
month off. A month
You
off.
go like May, I thought.
May.
Yeah, we go late, so miss all the crowds. So yeah, May.
But then I don't know if the Homer hockey tournament's happening
That one would be the weekend before that.
before this
Uh-huh.
tournament.
Yeah.
Damn, April's gonna be
Before
early May.
It's
will be
usually
busy.
the last weekend of March, like April 1st, kind of.
So I
So
hope they have that this year.
yeah, hopefully they're not back-to-back weekends, but it would be cool to get down there, borrow John Lau's truck, and get down there with the boat for the hockey tournament, and then
Yeah.
leave the boat there.
Oh, there you go, man.
And then so it's like we can fish and kind of screw around and try to learn something, play some hockey, and then the next week come back
Yeah.
prepared.
That's a good idea.
Find out where the fish are, so then we can go back to that spot before they move
There you go.
in a week.
Keep them in there. Eric's
That's a
gonna.
good idea.
Did Eric come last year? Who all?
Yeah,
came?
Eric was
you guys
there.
go out.
Eric.
You had Boots and my brother.
They caught a fish.
Oh, yeah,
Dan
that's
got-
right.
Dan got a
Dan
fish.
got a nice fish.
They had that reel that had like a buku reviews or views.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
This
the
is
Instagram
how
one?
we do it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it sure
I
did.
caught a GoPro.
Oh yeah, you did.
Just netted it.
We got like a 35-pound halibut.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, trolling.
Oh.
I thought for sure it was a king.
Just super excited. Pulled a
Well,
flatfish.
everyone else was inside. It was like when the tide was going out really hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so when it came on, I was like, oh shit, I got a king. So I was fighting it, and I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah. And it was
But then it was like kind of like, oh shit, it's fighting like a skate. Then it ended up being a halibut.
yeah. I'm down. I wanna try to make it this year. That's fun. That's looking to look forward to too.
yeah. I mean, if Eric comes out with his bigger boat and then
Yeah.
Jack brings his
the home
boat,
wrecker and the deep insider.
oh man,
Oh
dude.
man, that's
Sounds like
a
a
vicious
good time.
combo.
The home wrecker's the name of his boat.
Yeah, the home wrecker.
The home wrecker.
Yeah.
Who else has a boat recently that could go?
Yeah, that'll be a fun trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Dad missed out last year, and he was real bummed. So he'll come.
Yeah, he'll
And
come along
whoever-
this
yeah,
time.
whoever else you guys want to go, we can go. Could catch
Yeah,
some
we had a
fish.
nice group last time. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Jerry and Freshie,
That's right. That's right.
CJ.
CJ. Yeah.
Yeah. We did have a really good crew.
Did you guys go out
Listen
and
to
have
'90s
a
rap.
awesome bro dinner too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
we
went
did.
Steakhouse and shit.
to AJ's.
Yeah,
over
we
there.
invited
Wow.
the competition. We had
Yeah.
Boots and your brother Eric with us. Yeah, that was really
throwdown.
nice. Having AJ steak. We should do that same thing again this year.
Yeah, we got lucky booking that in there, didn't I? Like just last minute.
Yeah, it
On
was
the
like
way
right
in.
when we were going into town.
Yeah, we got to get in advance on that.
Yeah.
And then we went to your buddy's house.
Oh yeah, Mr. Gathman. Yeah, that's who we need to have Gathman take us out fishing.
Show you the ropes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ropes. He had a bunch of ladies on his boat fishing.
Oh, that's
He
right.
was captain. And
His wife and all her friends.
yeah, they were. I
Damn.
think they had some double shovel on that boat.
We got to link up with the Ulmers too.
Yeah.
Chad goes down there with Aaron Ulmer, and they're like,
Oh, really?
what's the name of that boat, dude?
The double eagle.
The Double Eagle. God.
Oh, Chad was on the double eagle last year.
Yeah, he was on the Double Eagle.
How many people do they bring out on that boat?
It's a 12-pack charter or what?
Yeah, it's like a 40-person boat. I don't know. It's exclusive. I don't know. I haven't got the invite yet. Holler at your boy.
Yeah. Sounds like a blast.
It would be. It will be. It will be. Man, we lucked out with the weather too, right?
Yeah, it was so
Oh
nice.
man, it was
Bluebird.
beautiful
It
that
was
day.
gorgeous.
I was all checking it out on Instagram. I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, it was so pretty. Even the night before when we went out to test the waters, it was real nice too.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys did get out the day before?
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
That's the way to do it.
We didn't catch any kings either day.
It's nice to just launch the boat and like figure out how to get out of the harbor and be like, all right, at least we know how to like, do the thing.
Yeah, we went to go find the fish. We went out the bluffs for a ways and look for them. I think we saw some on the depth finder that night, but like none the next day.
Yeah.
We didn't see any loons. Oh, until we were coming in after the like last bell rang, then we spotted the loon.
Yeah, that's right.
That was it. Yeah.
You want to go that same way or go the other way?
I don't know. Well, if we get to go down for hockey, we should go
Check it out.
check it out. Yeah,
Go try a couple different spots.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, other than that, we have up close sooner is the Jewel Lake Jamboree, which is Saturday, February 12th. Up at Jewel Lake. I want to say that's 11 to 3 o'clock.
10 to 3.
We are one of the sponsors there. We plan to be there with our ice fishing shacks and our children and our wives, and we're talking about doing a little podcast there.
Bringing the studio to the hard water.
Yeah. That's gonna highly depend on the weather.
Yeah, I mean,
and the wind. It gets pretty vicious out there.
Sure.
That'd be really nice to go out there and do a little podcast and talk to Dustin that's pulling it off and ADF&G and go have a good time with some Kaladi Brothers coffee and maybe interview some of those kids out there that are catching fish. And then the weekend after that, I want to say is the Iron Dog. start out there in Big Lake. Correct?
No, it's...
I'm pretty sure that's the weekend after
it's
that.
sooner than that.
I think it's on the 19th because remember we were talking about the meat party being the same day.
Yeah, it's in February.
Yeah.
The Iron Dogs... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, February 19th,
right,
the weekend after. So it's back to back. Are you going to be gone?
I'll be able to join the start of the race, but I won't be here for the finish of the Iron Dog.
I thought it'd be really fun to go out there that Saturday.
Yeah.
I've never seen the start of the Iron Dog race. And I haven't took the kids to the mayhem of Big Lake and all that. Actually, no, they have come for a little ice fishing. I think they came one time. But that'd be fun because there's a lot of going on out there.
Sure.
And bring the kids and maybe do some ice fishing.
And weather permitting, it'd be cool to bring the equipment out there and cover that too.
Yeah.
I talked to Mike. He came to the shop the other day. He brought he and Chris's race sleds, their auxiliary fuel tanks. Brought 6 of them over, and we painted them for him at the shop.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He dropped them off and had the painters mix up a custom metallic black to
sweet.
contrast with their sleds. And Mike was super pumped, picked them up, and gave me a quick update on all. I guess they just been running like crazy. Like
I was thinking about those boys when it was like minus 20.
Oh, they were
weeks.
Yeah, they were actually training in the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the windstorms and shit. They were out there running still. So
Cool.
they just go and
Do they have can you bet on that? Is there like odds?
I don't know.
Does anyone run odds on that thing?
think there's an underbelly of gambling in the
I don't
Iron
know.
We should do like
We should
fun
do-
though, like fantasy football or fantasy Iron Man draft,
dude.
just with us, you know, in the studio one day.
A fantasy Iron Dog
Yeah,
season.
And then also do a fantasy like I did around.
for sure. The I did around one too. Yeah, isn't that how Eddie got into it? Was he was saying that they were doing fantasy I did around?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's so
like
cool.
covering it.
Yeah, and then he like really wanted to win, so then he went to like the convention center. He went to the dinner. Like, who are you guys? So we're like, we know more about your dogs than you.
Want to figure
Is
out
that little
who to bet
JoJo
on.
the lead dog? Yep, got my money on him.
Did he get that tendon fixed? Is he good?
You giving him snuggles at night?
No, I will be. Oh yeah, that is the same. Okay, cool. Well,
Where
at
are
least
you going?
it isn't. At least I'm doing a Hawaii trip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
When?
Man, I might be fucking up.
I will be gone for the start of that. I did around.
No.
I'll be in Arizona.
No, Hawaii trip is in March.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway, yeah. Tell you later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Want me to edit that out?
Yeah.
you should, because I'm fucking up right now.
Yeah. Oh well, this
One
won't come
boy
out.
listens.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Fucking up.
we'll see if they're really listening or not.
Oh, they are.
Okay. No. You're fucked.
They're one of those 500. Yeah, well, it's cool that we're pushing the meat party back because now we can focus on this day.
When's the meat party?
We have it tentatively scheduled for March 19th.
Yeah, a full month.
Now.
Yeah.
Spring break.
Is that what that would be?
No, spring break. I'm going to be gone for spring break. That starts the 7th that week, the 7th to the whatever, the 14th. And then so it'll be that weekend after that. We are looking, we didn't find quite the right location that we wanted to, but now that we pushed it back, there's a lot more opportunities to get the right place that we want to do. And we got some more money to make it a little bit cooler. So that's still in the works. We'll see how that goes. That'll be fun.
Yeah. No, I was what I was alluding to, was talking to Mike. He was like, well, the race starts on the 19th. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's okay. Yeah, I can make that. I thought it'd be cool to, like, you know, funds permitting to, like, fly up to, you know, Nome.
Oh, yeah.
Or Kotzebue. Where's the finish?
No.
Nome.
Yeah, we should get some
actually,
Patreon
like,
people to put in so we can go to Nome.
Yeah, fly up there and cover that. That'd be
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
fun, man.
Yeah.
You know, just like
The end of the Iditarod?
the Iron Dog.
Oh, Iron
Okay,
Dog.
catch that. Either or both
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
cool one day. I mean, you see it on the news every year as an Alaskan on the
Yeah.
local news. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
Go check it out one time.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
Yeah.
Go see the whole
I've seen the start
culmination of it.
35 times.
Yeah.
Just over there slanging some reindeers.
Yeah, through the smoke. Through the smoke.
The smoke, the onions, the jalapenos.
Speaking of that and the Ferrari, they switched up a lot. I was looking it up because I was like, man, am I going to work this thing? Is it going to be worth it? They moved a lot of like the cool big events. Like I didn't even see the running of the reindeer.
What?
So I don't know if that's going to happen. And they moved, the other really big event was the outhouse races, which was like massive, like even bigger than the actual sled dog races.
Right.
They moved it down to Westchester Lagoon.
Oh, they did?
Which is cool. I mean, bad for my business, but still cool. It's a really cool area and cool spot, and a lot of people can watch down there and sell it and be out there for the whole day. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I just wonder if it's because whatever it costs to like block off 4th Avenue and what happens all there. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know the details of that. I haven't talked to those folks over there, but if you're going to go into those events, I'd definitely get on their website and check it out because I know they've moved some stuff around and some stuff has been.
Are they still doing the hockey tournament?
They are.
Yeah.
Yep, they are still doing the hockey tournament.
Do you know what weekend that is?
Yeah, that's the weekend before. That
Is that like
is
the Pond Hockey Classic or whatever?
no, that's a different one.
Oh, is it?
That's the Gomez Foundation one. We're talking about.
Sometimes they're the same weekend though.
Yeah. Isn't there a big one in Big Lake too?
Yeah, that's the Scotty
Gomez
Gomez.
one.
That's the
Oh,
Gomez
okay.
Foundation. Let me look it up real quick for Rondy. Here we go. They are having the tournament, and I look because I was going to be here, so I'm here for like Rondy, and then the second weekend, that's like the first weekend in March, I'll be gone, and that is when they are doing the.
Cornhole championship, is that new?
No, they've had that.
Oh,
The snow sculpture auction for. Let's see if the hockey tournament, family skate.
That cornhole championship's got to be fun. Boy, those
A
good
talent
cornhole.
competition, virtual. What? Miners and trappers. I've never been to that. See, the outhouse. Oh wait, they have it here. Between E and F. Oh yeah, see, it's Westchester in 2022. They moved it. Oh, they do have the running of the reindeer. That wasn't there a couple days ago.
March 3rd for the hockey.
Saturday, March 5th. Dang. I'll be going for that one. Oh, here it is. World Championship Outdoor Hockey Tournament, March 3rd through the 6th.
World of the world.
The world. I'm going to be gone. Sorry, boys. Can't be in it this year. You have to do it without me.
Yeah. It's like one of those tournaments that you never want to be first or second place because then you have to play on Sunday. You know, you're kind of like done by the end of Saturday. You're like,
Yeah, we're going to throw this one.
yeah.
I feel like they should have like a Friday game and then you play like 3 on Saturday and just be done.
Yeah.
Like 2 on Saturday, and if you make it, the championship's at like 8.
Or like have it over the whole time for Ronde. So it's like, oh, you got a game like on Monday and Thursday the first week, and then Tuesday and Wednesday the next week, and then you're done. You know, like that would be more fun than
just one hard push on a weekend and just destroy yourself.
There's just always one team that just does. They just party way too hard, and it ends up being a shit show against them. Yeah,
we're not
bring
partying.
back the 80s.
Yeah, there's
by 9.
Hey man, some people
they just party too hard.
take Ferrari to the next level.
Yeah, they do.
There's always just people blasted, dude.
Yeah. The Ferrari's about the fur, man. They just don't get that.
It actually has a purpose.
Have you ever gone to the actual like fur auction?
I went
When they do
there winter before last for the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was amazed.
it's pretty cool.
That's when I was like, ooh, I want a wolf.
Yeah.
The full wolf hat.
With the thing.
Yeah, with like the snout and the ears are like this high in the air. Like,
Yeah.
just draped down like to the back of your legs. Just saw some people wearing some wild shit, black bears. I was like, whoa.
Do you see the dude that has the beaver? That's like
Yeah, it's like
the tail is out like the cap.
Oh,
And then
really?
the top, the beaver's like up like that.
Oh, that's
It's like
awesome.
this tall, dude. Oh, it's really cool.
it was actually amazing. The fur fans. It was a small group. I don't know, maybe 200 people, 300 people. I guess that'd probably be tops when we went that afternoon. But everybody got their furs out. Everybody got their grandma's fur that like they were given. You know, like
Yeah.
it was like old
The
Alaskan
beef
ladies.
jacket.
Yeah. My grandma's got like 5 furs, man. They're just fucking badass. I'm pretty sure all my aunts will get one. You know.
I don't have any fur. You have any
I
fur?
would no.
I'd
love-
like a hoodie. A black bear hoodie.
Wow, wouldn't they cool?
Wow, that'd be really
Little
really cool.
modernized.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, just soft,
sounds
jet black and shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
That's what I'd want.
I think I would want beaver hoodie. They're
The
so
beaver hoodie?
soft.
Yeah,
Well,
everybody loves
Thompson's-
the beaver.
Thompson's got the beaver coat.
Yeah, he
Just
does.
locked.
Yeah. Yeah. I got the bear suit. I mean,
Oh, you got the bear suit.
yeah, it's not real fur though.
But you never see like a hoodie. You know what I mean?
No,
No.
Any
hoodie
kind of,
would
it could be
nice.
beaver or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
It could
Yeah,
be
yeah.
any kind of
Yeah,
bear.
it's
that'd
kind of
be
hard
nice.
to make or something.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love a hat and some gloves. I think
Like
that'd
a-
be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd like one of those seal hats.
I actually was like, well, what does this stuff cost? You know, maybe I might be interested. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
whoa.
Oh,
Yeah,
never mind.
I was
Out of my
like,
budget.
like bottom of the barrel. What I was looking for is $1,000. So I was like, and it just went up from there.
Yeah.
There's actually this
I was
really
like, okay,
this
never
young
mind.
kid, man, who had his little booth out there. Man, I wish I remember his name, but he was a young kid. He must have been like 24, and he like trapped all these animals, and he made them into cool things like
Nice.
gloves and like cool hats.
Yeah.
Like a cap,
ball cap.
like a
Yeah,
ball
yeah.
cap
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
just like really, really cool.
Uh-huh.
And so that's kind of what got me the idea. And I was like, man, I should probably hit him up and be like, I want a hoodie.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I like to like, I guess I'd have to get 2 black bears because I want one for my house and then one for a hoodie.
A lot of good bacon and
Yeah.
black bear meat,
Breakfast sausage,
pastrami.
man. Dude, we had some breakfast sausages last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's so good, dude. It makes the most amazing biscuits and gravy, too. It's
Nice.
just real greasy.
Who did it for you?
Indian Valley.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Was
it
that
really
a
good.
spring bear or
It was. Yeah.
Or do you like the spring bear better than the blueberry bear?
I haven't had a fall one.
Oh,
So I
okay.
don't know. I mean, it's hard to like I've yet to like successfully plan a legit fall black bear hunt.
Yeah.
I think you can come across one kind of with luck, like on a moose hunt or a caribou hunt or a sheep hunt, and kill
Man,
one.
we've seen
you
a
know?
beautiful one. We should have on that float.
Yeah.
Oh, this
really?
year?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Beautiful.
why didn't you
But
take it?
We were just COVIDed out.
Oh, it was after the
Yeah,
COVID?
dude.
No one felt like getting a skinning knife out
no,
or dealing
no
with
one felt
anything.
like climbing up half side of this mountain to go after. I mean, it's definitely doable. We could have
Oh,
done it.
oh,
We
he
pulled
was there,
over. We
yeah.
watched them. There was no like
no
motivation.
one guy was like, "I'm going after him, boys."
Yeah, no, but it was after we had like went past the last spot we were gonna camp, and somebody was there, so we're just so deflated,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, what are we gonna do
Just
now?
full despair set in. Like
Yeah.
this hunt's over, almost kind
And
of
I'm
feel.
already just donezo.
Can't wait to get back to the truck. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was still like 4 days away.
Fuck.
Are you done with these float hunts or?
No way. I'm not gonna do one this year, but I think I'm gonna try to plan one for next year again.
Not that river though, right?
No,
Oh, you're going new?
I'll probably go a new one.
Cool to
off the
fly in
grid
somewhere.
Huh?
Yeah, fly in off the grid or?
I want to do one that you fly out of.
Oh.
Like you basically can drive to. I need to talk to some of the pilot buddies and see. And basically you can drive there and take a tributary into the river I want to float, and then get picked up on a sandbank somewhere like 90 miles down or whatever, and then just fly back
Oh,
to
that'd be cool.
to the truck.
Yeah.
There's one I've been wanting to do.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you guys after where it is, but
Oh, it's top secret?
well, that's not right.
I'm just Good.
It's not going to tell it to
Figure
everyone
that out.
in the world.
Yeah, go to Patreon. Daniel's going to tell you the spot.
Yeah, I'll tell it to the Patreon members. But there's one I've been wanting to do, and I just need to work it out. There's actually a few I want to do.
Yeah.
There's a few I really want to do. That's fun.
Yeah, we talked to Chris about that Kobuck one. That one sounded pretty amazing.
Yeah, that Kobuck is definitely one that's on my list. I definitely want to do like 12 days at least on that Kobuck.
Yeah.
Have you looked at that at all? Looked into that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. I've talked to a couple people. I had a teacher friend of mine who did it years ago, and another teacher friend of mine that did it as well. But they weren't hunting; they just like did it as a trip.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded like you could sheep hunt in the beginning, or moose hunt in the end, but you'd probably have to pick
Okay.
one or the other, so you can spend the right amount of time in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many rivers that.
And there's she fish in that.
Yeah,
Got it.
Right?
Yeah,
Yep.
grayling.
yeah,
Char.
that'd be really awesome. Combo deal.
Yeah, you could probably eat a lot of fresh fish and while you were doing that. I'd love to float hunt too, man. I've never done it really. I've read some of the coolest moose hunting books I've read were all float hunting, boat hunting, float hunting, moose hunts. Yukon
Yeah.
based is kind of what I gather for the most part of it. And it's just something cool about it. Like I was supposed to go on that hunt with you guys this year and didn't work out, but
Don't worry.
probably meant to be. I didn't miss much. I mean, it was really, really cool that you got to go with the Peters brothers and like do that whole thing. And it was two groups of brothers went hunting, which is fucking a cool story.
Yeah, it was still a really, really fun time.
What
and,
better dudes to go with, right?
yeah,
I mean,
and just like any hunting area, that was only our second time on that river. It's just not enough time to. I mean, when you're going 120 some miles, like it's gonna take more than twice.
You need 10 days, yeah.
To learn, like, all right,
Oh,
this is
that,
actually
yeah.
a really good spot to stop. This is a really good spot to stop. I wouldn't count out going back to that one again. I definitely know what I would do different. And I think that's part of it, you know. Just like if you guys have been going to your same moose spot, like, you know,
Yep.
I'm going to go here every morning and I'm going to end here every night. You know, I'm not going to waste my time over there.
Yeah.
You kind of know the logistics of
Sure.
the area.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the river hunting. But I also like the allure of like something I've never done,
Yeah.
Definitely.
you know, and just like,
No, that
who knows what's
that
around the next
adventure
corner.
is so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that trip that we did would actually be a really cool, just like group, like fun fishing trip, kind of like Alcan style.
Be long.
You could do it quick. You could do it faster
Oh, okay.
because you can motor once you get to a certain spot. You could definitely motor.
And you
through
kind
it.
of, and you know the good camping spots by now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's endless
Okay.
good camping spots.
Oh, okay.
But not
Versus
every good
hunting.
camping spot is not a good hunting spot.
Yeah, but if you're just camping, fishing, floating, it would be epic.
Oh, it'd be amazing. I definitely would love to do it with the family. 2 families, 3
Sounds like an
families.
amazing time.
How many nights would that be?
You could do it pretty good in like a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
7 days total.
Five nights actually on the river, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had a motor, if everyone had a little motor, you can cruise on out of there. It gets really twisty turvy at the end there. Really slow. There's a little slow patch, kind of like in the Alcan at the end there. So you'd want to motor through that, but you know, it'd be really fun to do in like July. Depending on the level of the water, the fishing, it's got to be amazing. I mean,
there's probably salmon and everything in there by then, right?
You see everything out there.
What's all in there? There's grayling and
Yeah, there's grayling. What else?
Probably whitefish, probably.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up and see.
Yeah.
do they get char in there?
Yeah, I think grayling, char. I don't think there's. I don't know if there's trout in there.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there's no trout in there. but there's got to be some monster graylings in
I
there.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's just fun to do.
I got Arctic grayling, northern pike, sheefish, and salmon.
Oh, okay. They have pike in there?
Apparently.
Oh.
Probably fish in the river, but like they're coming out of other tributaries that are probably coming into it, so they're not like in the river, like living there in masses. They're usually just use those as waterway and travel. And
is there a
find
big
food.
lake at top?
Big lake?
Yeah, at the start.
No.
Well,
You're
so
starting on
mountains.
like a tributary that goes into that
okay.
river.
Okay.
There isn't a big lake. What was I just gonna say? I don't know. I forgot. Well, anyway, wrap it up, huh, boys?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That was a nice casual conversation this time.
Yeah, a little bit different for you guys that are, continue listening to us. We really appreciate you guys listening. We got a lot of cool guests coming up here in the future. We still need to rebook Chugach Avi. We got Gideon Saunders with the surfing, Chris and Dory Yelverton with Prince William Salt Company and all the cool stuff they do.
That's next week, right?
Jay Liska and his legendary Borderline Northern Border Days. Some backcountry skeeter stuff with Brooke Edwards. The Jewel Lake Jamboree on the 12th. Definitely a fun time. Bring your family out there. Bring your kids. Bring yourself. They supply all the stuff if you don't have anything.
You got the twins that weekend, Jack?
Nope.
And I just, they just stocked. I just got an email. They just stocked Jewel Lake, Sand Lake, DeLong Lake, with like hundreds of really big trout.
Oh,
they had like
nice.
extra ones or something weird.
Nice.
So
DeLong
they just
Lake would be fun.
they just literally like, and they're all like 12 to 14 inches, so pretty good size trout.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then I know that Dustin was saying they really stocked that thing up right before the derby there.
Oh, they do?
Or the jamboree, I should say.
Yeah, like the day before.
Okay. And what do? They like drill a hole?
Yeah, they drill like 40 holes. And so that, and then they have a bunch. Fish and Game brings a bunch of rods, and I know that the Bait Shack has a bunch of stuff, and Kaladi Brothers is out there with their coffee truck, and it's just a free experience for people to come out there, and they supply it. You just come out there, you don't need to bring anything.
What's the Fish and Game do when they load during the winter? I mean,
They cut a big square on the edge of the ice.
Yes. Oh, how they do it?
And they bring the truck and then...
Yep, and just basically like a big tube, and then just drain
just
all
dump
that
them
into
in.
there.
cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool to watch that.
Yeah.
Or see that. We should try to see when they're going to do that. I know you're talking about getting that on video.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Well, I know we're at some point scheduled to connect with Dustin and get some of the logistics ironed out. I'm pretty sure he can probably shed some light on the information or who to contact and maybe time that out where we could go throw a camera on that process and see it. And I mean, I know I've seen it on the news and things like that, but
yeah.
You know,
I'm getting excited, man. I feel like spring's around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's still January, but man, Jamboree and the Winter King and the
well, you got
I
your,
did a
you
rod
got your trip, and we're talking Iron Dog, and then it's, you know, and then we have our whole slate with these amazing guests, and you know, we have open slots. So we're going to start plugging those holes with you know, more people, and yeah, it's going to fly, and all of a sudden, you know, March, April, and then after April, man, it's done dealy. We're going into summertime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we got out and actually, for my first time last weekend, I went and punched a couple holes with Daniel and Mateo and got the ice fishing.
Where'd you guys go?
Itch out. Just went to Finger Lake.
It was popping, dude.
Oh, did you guys finalize the science project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Got any statistics or something you can share real quick?
Not offhand. I'd have to look.
You want to explain to Jack what the?
I know what the science project is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the different lures and.
Yeah, for the listeners, the goal was to basically find what was the best lure or bait that is best on the majority of the lakes. Our goal was actually to hit 10 different lakes, But
And this is your science project as an adult?
yeah.
Daniel was definitely keeping that project in
alive.
mind.
Yeah. Get up, boy.
11-year-old.
We gotta go to
It's like, I'm fishing. I don't know what you're doing.
Mateo, get up. We got to do science. It was actually his idea.
Yep.
And so we ended up hitting 6 different lakes. There was that cold spell was just crazy. And then we all got COVID and that ruined a bunch of stuff. But the science fair is next week there at Aquarian next week, and we'll do the judging and see how it goes. And maybe I'll bring the board in over here when
that'd be
cool.
that'd be fun. Yeah,
when we get done, because all the little facts and all the stuff's on there. You did a good job. It was fun.
We slayed last weekend, man. I must have caught like 50 fish.
I'm gonna go again this weekend.
What was it?
Just was landlocked.
Yeah.
Then we got trout.
Yeah.
One rainbow. Got like I don't know, 13 inches or something. 12, 13-inch rainbow.
We caught 32 that day.
Oh wow, you guys did slay him.
Yeah.
You were you had the phone. You were just like tick 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 tick.
While I was taking all the data down, like what was catching what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the funny thing about the whole deal was, like, at the very end after Brandon left, I heated up a cup of noodle.
Oh yeah.
For Mateo, and he's like, I wonder if they get something with this corn, because he didn't want to eat the corn from the thing.
Oh, he doesn't like the corn. Yeah.
So he put the corn on the hook and got the biggest fish of the day.
Oh, nice.
With the kernel of corn. And he's like, this is actually really good because they bite it and you get it and the corn's still there. It doesn't like melt away like the shrimp or some of the other stuff like that does.
Yep.
But it was popping, man. There was like 50 at least.
Oh,
tents, people.
Oh, really?
People fishing out there all over. It was a beautiful day. And we need to go. Mateo got a drone for his birthday from Grandpa, so we need to get some cool drone shots. We need to bring that actually to the jamboree and do some cool stuff with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was a cool science deal. It was nice.
It was a nice outing. I was thinking it'd be nice to get the whole crew and all the kids out again, like kind of what we did last year, and get some food and firewood and the whole thing. Yeah, but last weekend would have been awesome for that. It was like 28 degrees, no wind at all, fresh like 4 inches of snow on the lake.
This weekend might be nice too. It's supposed to be like 30s. We'll probably shoot out there. I might go Sunday. I'll shoot out the message for who wants to come out there. I know it's heavy ski season and stuff too, but
last Sunday I had the twins did their first tram ride to the top. So
really?
Yeah, they're punishing Alaska now. So
wow,
it's going good.
That's got to be a dad's dream, right?
Yeah. So they can ski with me now. So tomorrow we're going back down there. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow after work, go down there and get 3 more days in, and that's been pretty fun.
That's awesome.
That's cool. It's great that you're able to get after it and do something that you passionately love now with your children.
Yeah, they like to do it too. They do like ice fishing though. They ask to go.
Well, it's fun when we all have our kids out there, because then they're like, fish for 5 minutes, play with the kids for the rest of the time, and then that's what it's about.
Yeah. I need to get them out with you guys.
Yeah. I haven't seen them since about that time.
Since we went ice fishing last year?
Yeah, I mean, springish maybe. I haven't seen them since then, so.
DeLong Lake?
Yeah. I was hoping to see him this summer, but things just never really lined up for everybody, and such is life in Alaska summertime, but that's all right.
Yep. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Get together and hit the ice here soon.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. Thanks everybody for your support. We really appreciate it. Visit the website, stop by Barney's, and get yourself some of that merch.
Ooh, we got the new merch that came in too, bro.
Yep. Oh yeah, the new merch
just came off the dock today, Jackie.
Yep, we got some new hoodies, new hats, things like that.
They're en route.
We'll let you keep you updated on that if it's going to be on the website or at Barney's. Probably a mix of both.
Thanks to our new sponsors. We'll crack the news on all them folks here in the podcast to come, but we've got a lot of really great local companies and businesses that have stepped up and want to support us, and thanks to them, and we'll get their love out here real quick.
Yep. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Alaska. Stay wild.
You remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Look no further than Alaska's #1 real estate team at alaskashometeam.com. Decades of local experience, knowledge, and expertise in the competitive real estate market. Alaska's Home Team makes buying or selling your home a breeze. Give them a call today at 907-277-3777.
Lady with the Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings, retreats, birthdays, bridal, and baby showers. Find Lady with the Plan on Instagram.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska. Built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation. Find their products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more at the Treehouse AK and other dispensaries around the state. Ask your local bud tender about AKO.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
East is equal in prowess and act upon the clean. I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.